Hi everyone, welcome to Business for Builders podcast. Welcome to those who are in YouTube land. Thanks for joining us. My name's Max. I'm the CEO of Smith & Sons. We're a renovation and remodel group in Canada, and we have a wonderful time making clients very happy. Thanks for joining us again. Today, I'm going to chat to you if you're running a building and construction company, even if you're running a contracting business, this subject might actually be beneficial for you as well. It's a good principle. It's one that I picked up on shivers probably 2 decades ago, perhaps, when I was running crews. But look, what I want to talk about running with a man down, or running a man down. And so, we're in the building game, and it's one of those. The challenge that we have is to get enough work, and then when we've got work, or we want to get work, and when we've got work, then we're almost short people, to do the work in some cases. So it's this constant chicken and the egg. It's like, then I've got too many guys and the work hasn't been coming in, or the leads haven't been coming in, or the deals haven't been made, and now I've got too many guys. And so, that in itself really relates to your ability to build a brand, to have the appropriate marketing going on, making sure your marketing message is targeted towards, your specific or your preferred client profile. Make sure you're delivering plenty of value in the sales process. But, what I want to try and do is maybe bring some stability to your situation currently. I don't ever think it's down. You've heard the term feast or famine. It's either flat out or it's nothing going on. And I think, that's fairly much when I think over my career of, a couple of decades, there was never a time where it was just perfect. I either had just oodles of work, bucket or boatloads of work, and not enough guys, or I always had too many guys. I was too top heavy and not enough work. And so, I think that the best scenario that I ever come to was to run a man down. And so, the principle around this is to try and, I guess what it enables us to do is essentially what we've got now is too much work, but we want to minimize the gap between a real, serious shortage of manpower versus a massive oversupply of work. And so, what we want to try and do in amongst all of the organized chaos that we have running a building company, what we want to just always have in the back of my mind, if I was running a building company today, is I'm more than satisfied to run a man down. And so, just if I was one short, because the principle is there, because if you're only a man down, now if you're 3 men down, this is irrelevant. You need to get some guys or gals. But I think when you run a single operator down, somewhere in your process, you will actually figure out how to get the job done. It's not a perfect science, and everyone's industry, everyone's business in their individual location with their own set of skills, it's all going to be very, it's not a perfect science. But I think the principle around that will help you just, probably cut yourself some slack and don't be too hard on yourself. But then it comes down to your ability to recruit, because it is it's very it's always in a state of flux. It's always, next week you could have a contract come through which you weren't expecting for another 4 weeks, and then you've got to figure out where they're coming from. Now, whilst we're on this little idea about running a man short or a man down, I want to quickly just maybe pivot and talk about your ability to recruit. This is a subject that I see a lot of coaches and a lot of consultants, they talk about, the power of the ability to recruit well. If you're going to scale up a business, then your ability to recruit good talent and also maintain a very positive, healthy company culture are the 2 foundation stones that you will need in your business if you're going to go long-term and if you're going to grow big. And so, in my situation, when I'm talking to, dozens of builders each year, it's, when I go through the process of, let's say I was chatting to you about, coming on board or considering the idea of a franchise in the building game, as much as I want to make a sale, I've got to ensure that the guy or gal that I'm chatting with about this building, general contractor opportunity, business opportunity as a franchise, I've got to make sure the person I'm chatting with is going to actually look after the brand as much or more as what I would do. And so, that's why, recruiting the right, type of people is super important. I'm always interested to hear different thought processes around, let's say you were going to put an ad out, and our initial thing is, and depending on the game that you play, you're always trying to get the best guy for the least amount of money. And, we've seen it where we run a recruitment initiative for our franchised operators, again, because we believe that they should be out quoting and building and not necessarily sitting down at their computer and putting together or trying to figure out the right recruitment verbiage in an ad. And so something at corporate office that we do is to ensure that, the verbiage is good and the structure around it is good, and the science and the psychology that go into the ads is also going to attract the right, type of person. But I'm always interested when I'm chatting with guys and gals about, okay, so what's the price range? What's the hourly rate? And more often than not, they will always err on the side of the less amount of money. Again, they want the best dude for the lowest amount of money. And yet I just asked them, I said, would you work for that? That's you. You've got the same skills. Would you respond to this ad? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to respond with a no. No, I probably wouldn't. And it's ironic. So, if you're out there and you sort of think, okay, I'm more than a man short, Max, I need a couple, and I've tried to recruit and all I get is wood ducks and, thumbsuckers who don't really fit the bill, then I would say it's down to the verbiage in the ad, and it's also down to the dollar amount. And I know this, for us, where it's really worked well and it's become powerful is that we change our attitude towards the business. Now, what we do is we actually offer a fairly healthy hourly rate, because the good guys are not going to respond to anything less than a better rate. And so, but that, and you might say, Max, well, that's fine, but I can't do that. Now, I would say that the challenge that you're having is not that there's not good guys out there. I would say that you're not selling projects at the right amount. The rates, the amount of margin or markup that you're applying to your quotes or whatever you're doing. So what we do is we reverse engineer it. And so all this comes back. We start with, okay, we want to recruit better. We need a couple of guys. We're more than a man down. But I would say it's all reflective on how well and how much perceived value is in your brand and in your marketing message, and then how much you can deliver in the sales process. And then really, because when you're selling on value and not price, that essentially means your business is making more money, and that it gives you more capital to operate and grow your business. So your ability to recruit good talent isn't your ability to even write a good ad and put the right dollar amount, because you might not have the flexibility to pay the extra money because you're not selling jobs for the right amount of money, and because you're not marketing, your marketing message is not on point. So if you haven't really described or really outlined who your preferred client profile is, then you're basically just going to work for anybody. And I'd tell you right now, I would say out of every 10 leads that we give our guys, they probably eject 4 to 6 of them out of the system because they're just not a fit. They just don't work. And so, but then again, you've got to be able to have the marketing machine in play so that you have enough leads so that you can qualify and you can disqualify the people that you don't want to work for, so you can make an appropriate amount of profit in each project so you can hire the right people. That's it. So it's not just one thing. So to give you an example, where are we now? Last day of March 2021. And in February, we had 49 inquiries with a forecast build value of about 5.5 million. Now, just consider we're only doing renos. We're not doing new homes. And so that was across Nanaimo, Kelowna, Vernon, and Edmonton. So that's 4 cities that we're generating leads in. So we did that in February. In March, it's the last day of March right now, and we generated project inquiries. I think it was about 42 with a forecast value of about 2 million. So we're talking, 91 leads. We're talking $7.5 million worth of forecast value, which if you do the figures, it's probably about $80,000 per lead, like potential. So each one of our leads that comes in has the potential to be an $80,000 job. Some are greater and some are less, but on average, that's about where we're at. And so, and I'm telling you right now that, the markup percentage is probably, the minimum of low 30s, if not up to 40. And, but you can't just go and take that percentage away and go and implement that. Our guys get air cover. There's credibility that's associated with the brand. There's credibility associated with the process, and there's credibility associated with the experience. And so, those sort of 3 things is what enables our guys to essentially do what most of the building operators in any industry, in any of the Western world struggle to do, and that is to make money. And so, all of this hyperbole has come off the back of just talking about running, as a man down, because essentially you can figure it out. Essentially, you don't pay that extra guy's wages, so you're banking that because you got a bit creative with your scheduling. Maybe you went and did some work on a Saturday morning to make it work. But the whole thing as a business model is what ties together. And this is why one of our guys said to me, and I thought it was great, and I think we did a podcast on this called, you can have all of a grape or half a watermelon. You choose. And, because you can't do it all by yourself. It's, one of us can't be as smart as all of us. We must move from me to we. So, if you're out there and you're telling me, well, I could take on more work, but I just need good guys, but I can't get good guys. My guess is if I was to look at your digital profile, if I was to look at your website and your Facebook and your Insta and maybe your Twitter and anything, all the other handles, all the other digital platforms, if I was sitting there as a homeowner, what is the message that I'm receiving from you, the GC? I'll tell you something. I go on Instagram all the time. I mean, we're in the business of selling franchises to general contractors, and I go on all of these guys' Instagram. I could have gone on your page. I could have been on your Instagram, and it says quality service, excellent product. Every dude says the same thing. It's like it's all, so it's now vanilla. So what is your business doing to enable you to transmit a different message, to be specific in who you work for, to qualify well, and to essentially create more working capital within your business so you can hire the right men? Because it is very much a revolution. So we work back the other way. If you've got the good guys that are happy working for you on the right money, and your business is making money, and you're getting good client reviews in the way of videos, etc., once you establish that cycle, it is very much a wash, rinse, and repeat. And so, that's why it's, running a man down will help you create capital. If you've got no money right now, you have to run a man down. You can't get lazy. You have no lifestyle anyway. You are on the tools 60 hours a week. It's just the way it is. But I would love you to sort of think about, to sit back, and this is what a lot of people don't do, is they don't do a strategic plan. They don't talk about 12 months in advance. They don't then talk about what I've got to do quarter by quarter and month by month to ensure that I reach my goal at the end of 12 months. So, then we just pivot totally and go and talk about strategic planning and business development. And I guarantee you, probably 8 out of 10 guys or gals listening to this right now haven't even got a piece of paper out and said, what do I want to achieve in the next 12 months, 2 years, 5 years? And what am I going to do quarter by quarter this year to at least achieve that 12 months? I think we overestimate what we can do in 12 months and we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. I would ask that you have a lot of self-awareness, know who you are, know where your skills are, and be patient. Those two things. So, there's a bunch of info in a few minutes there. I hope that's been of value. Look, if you've got any questions, hit me up on max@businessforbuilders.ca. I'd love to get back to you and sort of help you out any way I can. If you know anyone who might benefit from this info, do share it with them. We really appreciate your ear and your time, and whether you're watching us on YouTube or you listen to us as you're cruising down the road, we really appreciate your attention, and we really strive to bring as much relevant information to help you build a massive, profitable building company. I will see you in the next episode. Cheers.